I'm Muhammed, I'm Hamdan, and this is Nightline, and here are the top stories. Padang Serai MP and businessman charged over 400,000 ringgit bribe linked to Kedah cattle feedlot project. Also, Thai soldier and 4 Cambodian civilians killed in deadly border clashes. We'll begin with this story. A major earthquake rocked Japan's northeastern coast on Monday, with the country's meteorological agency recording 2 40-centimeter tsunami waves. The magnitude 7.6 quake struck at 11:15 p.m. local time off Misawa on Japan's Pacific coast at a depth of 53 kilometers. A tsunami warning was issued after waves struck 2 northern regions, with the first hitting a port in Aomori's Misawa area at 11:43 p.m. local time, followed by another reaching Urakawa in Hokkaido at 11:50 p.m. local time. The quake was also felt in the northern hub of Sapporo. East Japan Railway said it had suspended some train services in the region. NHK reported that nuclear power plants in the affected areas were carrying out safety checks with no immediate signs of problems. Thailand's military has launched air attacks along its disputed border with Cambodia as the 2 countries traded blame for clashes that killed 1 Thai soldier and 4 Cambodian civilians. The series of clashes peaked early Sunday morning, following which both sides reported a minor incident at dawn. Thailand claimed to have launched airstrikes against its neighbor after 8 people were injured in a Cambodian attack in Ubon Ratchathani province near the border. Thailand's military spokesman Winthai Suvari said the airstrikes targeted artillery and mortar positions in the Chongan-Ma Pass area. However, the Cambodian Defense Ministry said Thai forces had first attacked Cambodian troops in Priyavir and Oda Mienche, accusing Thailand of repeatedly firing armored vehicles towards the Tamontom Temple and other areas near Priyavir Temple. Cambodia also denied launching any retaliatory attacks. A woman was among 4 people killed in Priyavir and Oda Mienche, while more than 10 civilians were injured. The clashes have triggered renewed displacement in both countries, with over 385,000 civilians in 4 Thai border districts being evacuated. Across the border in Cambodia, civilians were also moving away from the fighting along the frontier. Meanwhile, Thai Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul said on Monday that the country will carry out all necessary military operations in response to Cambodia's recent attacks. He made the statement during a National Security Council meeting at Government House in Bangkok in the presence of the armed forces chiefs and the defense minister. Anutin also emphasized that Thailand must exercise its right to self-defense following the attacks. Earlier, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet said his government's immediate tasks were to protect the people and safeguard the country's sovereignty following the clashes. He also called on all ministries, authorities at every level, security forces and citizens to remain united and maintain solidarity during this challenging period. At home, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim called on Thailand and Cambodia to exercise maximum restraint, maintain open lines of communication, and fully utilize existing mechanisms to help ease tensions. In a Facebook post on Monday, the Prime Minister emphasized that the immediate priority is to halt the fighting and protect civilians. He also urged both countries to return to a diplomatic route supported by international law. Anwar warned that the renewed fighting risks undoing the careful work aimed at stabilizing relations between the 2 neighbors. Describing Thailand and Cambodia as close partners and key members of ASEAN, he added that the bloc's stability relies on cooperation and the peaceful resolution of disputes. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad has urged Thailand and Cambodia to fully honour the ceasefire agreement signed on July 28th. In a statement, he urged both countries to observe the terms of the agreement and ensure that immediate local-level negotiations are conducted if any armed clashes occur, whether deliberate or accidental. He said this first step is essential to prevent the situation from escalating. He further stressed that regional security, stability and welfare continue to be Malaysia's foremost priorities. In a separate development, Anwar announced that the government has agreed to set up Ombudsman Malaysia, a central agency tasked with managing and resolving public complaints. The body will be given a comprehensive mandate covering issues such as maladministration, misconduct, whistleblower protection and access to information. The Prime Minister said the Ombudsman Malaysia bill is scheduled to be tabled early next year. Through another Facebook post, Anwar described Ombudsman Malaysia as another key government initiative aimed at strengthening public confidence in the civil service. He said the central agency reflects the Madani government's commitment to driving institutional, policy and legislative reforms in a holistic manner. The creation of Ombudsman Malaysia was approved during Monday's National Governance Special Cabinet Committee meeting chaired by Anwar. The government is also emphasizing enhanced corporate compliance for companies managing public funds, ensuring that their social mandates are implemented according to good governance standards and within a more structured legal framework. This includes proposals for new legislation to streamline state-owned or controlled enterprises as well as subsidiaries of statutory bodies. Meanwhile, the Legal Affairs Division of the Prime Minister's Department has held engagement sessions with relevant parties, including public agencies, to clarify the role of Ombudsman Malaysia. The sessions also sought to prevent any overlap of authority and to strengthen the central agency's role in governance, administrative accountability and public confidence.
Langkah seterusnya akan melibatkan pembentangan Memorandum Jemaah Menteri kepada Kabinet diikuti dengan pembentangan Rang Undang-Undang Ombudsman 2026 di Parlimen pada awal 2026. Tertakluk kepada kelulusan, penubuhan dan pelaksanaan secara berfasa dijangka akan bermula pada awal tahun ataupun pada pertengahan tahun ataupun penghujung tahun.
At an event on Monday, the Prime Minister called for firm action against contractors who are negligent or fail to deliver infrastructure projects on time. Anwar also directed the Works Ministry to ensure that all state and federal level projects are completed according to schedule. Anwar issued the strong reminder during the ministry's monthly assembly in Putrajaya, emphasizing the need for continuous and comprehensive monitoring of every development project nationwide.
Pastikan kita rekod prestasi mereka. Ya. Dan kalau ada, jangan tunggu sehingga selesai. Dan si Alex tahu benar, kita kata kalau kita ambil sikap yang lebih keraslah terhadap kontraktor kalau agak sambil lewa dan lambat.
He added that the Works Ministry must closely oversee these projects and take immediate action if any obstacles cause delays. Anwar also instructed government officers to conduct on-site inspections to ensure projects are implemented efficiently.
Selain daripada untuk negeri, ialah menyenaraikan seperti yang sudah ada dan tersenarai. Semua projek, ya, beberapa ratus projek, atau mungkin ribu di negara kita.
The Prime Minister also encouraged government officers to provide feedback and proposals to ensure that every project is executed smoothly. Moving on, Padang Serai Member of Parliament Dr. Azman Nasruddin pleaded not guilty at the Shah Alam Sessions Court on Monday to a charge of abetting corruption in connection with a Kedah state-owned cattle farming project. He entered the plea before Judge Datuk Muhammad Nasir Nordin. Azman was accused of conspiring with businessman Ammar Aswad Abu Bakar to receive a 400,000 ringgit bribe from another businessman, Hassan Naim Fauzi, as a reward for helping the latter secure a cattle farming project at Kedah Agro's feedlot farm in Kubang Pasu from Kedah Agro Holdings Berhad, KAHB. The money was allegedly an inducement for Azman to facilitate the deal by directing the KAHB Chief Executive Officer to issue an offer letter to Hassan Naim for the project. The alleged offences were committed in Bandar Baru Bangi on June 23, 2020, when Azman was serving as Kedah's Agriculture Executive Councillor. Ahmad also pleaded not guilty to 2 charges of soliciting and receiving bribes in connection with the same project. Both accused were granted bail of 75,000 ringgit each, and the case was fixed for mention on January 13th. Azman's lawyer said an application will be filed at the High Court to strike out the charge against his client. Commenting on the case, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki emphasised that the charges against the Padang Serai MP are based on the findings of the investigation and the evidence presented to the prosecution.
Telah diputuskan oleh Bandar Raya. Jadi sebarang pertikaian oleh pihak peguam mengatakan ada cacat pertuduhan atau tidak terpulang pada mereka untuk rayuan di mahkamah. Ya, kami tidak ada sebab nak menuduh mana-mana pihak dari segi sentimen politik. Kes kita siasat dan tuduh di mahkamah adalah berdasarkan fakta daripada siasatan kami.
Nearly 68,000 cases of online crimes amounting to over 2.7 billion ringgit in losses were recorded nationwide from January to November this year, according to Bukit Aman's Commercial Crime Investigation Department, CCID. The data indicates a worrying trend. In a statement on Monday, the department revealed that telecommunication scams were the most common, with 28,698 cases, followed by e-commerce fraud, which recorded 14,881 cases. Meanwhile, non-existent investment schemes accounted for the highest losses, totaling 1.37 billion ringgit across 9,296 cases. Up next were non-existent loan scams with 8,029 cases, followed by e-finance fraud and love scams. Members of the public are urged to immediately contact their banks to block any suspicious transactions should they fall victim to these scams. Fraud victims can contact the National Scam Response Centre and file a police report for further action. The Health Ministry is reviewing several amendments to the Private Healthcare Facilities and Services Act 1998, also known as Act 586, in an effort to curb rising healthcare costs. Deputy Health Minister Datuk Lukanisman Awang Sauni said the move aims to expand the Act's regulatory powers, particularly to address overcharging at private hospitals.
Sememangnya kita sekarang sedang mengkaji beberapa pindaan yang bersesuaian berkenaan tentang Akta 586 ini, berkenaan tentang memperluaskan lagi selain daripada charge fee konsultasi, kita ingin memperluaskan beberapa charge yang boleh dikawal selia sendiri oleh Akta 586 supaya kita dapat mengawal inflasi kesihatan ini.
Lukanisman added that Act 586 currently only covers consultation fees and procedural charges, while other costs such as medication and medical equipment fall outside the ministry's regulatory control. Last year, the ministry received 817 complaints and issued 188 compounds related to consultation fees, procedures and medication charges. The increase in the e-invoice exemption threshold from 500,000 to 1 million ringgit beginning next year has brought significant relief to local small and medium enterprises or SMEs. This comes as many small business owners lack the capital and manpower to implement e-invoicing.
Langkah ini nyata melegakan kebanyakan PMKS dengan mengurangkan beban pentadbiran dan kos pelaksanaan. Peniaga kecil boleh fokus pada pertubuhan peniaga dan memekasakan ekonomi secara lebih stabil.
Dengan peningkatan ambang ini, kerajaan memberi ruang kepada perusahaan kecil untuk mendigitalisasikan operasi pada kadar yang lebih realistik dan mampan. Sekaligus mengelakkan beban kos gerak dan gangguan kepada operasi.
On Saturday, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim announced measures to ease the burden on SMEs ahead of the e-invoice rollout on January 1st. SMEs said the exemption would allow them to stabilize their operations as compliance involves more than simply changing invoice formats. It also requires software upgrades and additional finance personnel, all of which entail extra costs. Malaysia records more than 33 billion ringgit in rubber and rubber-based product exports each year. Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said this is driven by research and development technologies developed by the Malaysian Rubber Board, or MRB. Johari said Malaysia aims to become a global leader in sustainable rubber technology by offering its R&D expertise to rubber-producing countries, particularly in sustainability, traceability, transparency and social and circular economy responsibility.
Bila kita pergi kepada negara sumber, bila kita import, jadi kalau dia tidak ada sustainability, jadi kita kena pergi, kalau kita choose siapa yang nak ekspor kat kita ni, kita guide dia macam mana nak jadikan dia sustainable, dan kita juga ada kita punya traceability system and so on. Jadi kita introduce kepada dia supaya dia akan dapat lebih value apabila dia mengikut soal sustainability ni. Sekarang ni kita import kat Thailand, Vietnam, and then Ivory Coast, and then a few other places as well. Tapi these are the major one.
Johari said this after officiating the 100 Years of Rubber Research celebration held in the federal capital on Monday. Since its inception, MRB has commercialized more than 200 R&D technologies and registered 394 patents. This continues to reinforce Malaysia's position as a global rubber innovation hub across the entire value chain. Teen fatally shot with homemade shotgun. This and more after this breather.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition. Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan, serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream ditonton. TV Tuition, belajar ditonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Fan nombor 1, itu memang kamu. Jangan tunggu. Vote laju-laju. Undi calon top 10, 37. Kita bagi kecoh. Nombor 1, bintang paling popular. You are the one. Kita tentukan. ABPBH 37. Satu keunggulan. Memang tiada lawan. Joe. Undi straight sampai 9 Disember. Scan the QR. Cepat undi-undi. Benda free. Tak payah banyak bunyi. Tak cukup. Kita ganda lagi.
Bas dipandu laju, nyawa penumpang menjadi taruhan.
Sudah buat belum? Ada surat ni. Dan sistem kita memang tak ada. Dan sistem kita tak ada.
Pemasangan alat sistem had laju, bas penumpang terus dipantau.
Kita akan keluarkan surat wawang form. Nanti syarikat pergi ofis, dia bawa surat SLD pengesahan.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kanser tu dia naik daripada ke paru-paru. Yang menyebabkan kanser tu dia lagi merebak terus naik ke kepala. Menyebabkan saya jadi lumpuh satu seluruh badan. Macam saya ni hidup ni macam sopa mayat hidup lah. Fikiran saya time tu lah kan. Sebelum ni putus asa, rasa macam dah tak nak hidup. Rasa macam tak apalah, Allah ambil je lah aku kan. Sebab dah tak mungkin nak buat apa lah. Rasa macam tengah terbaring tu lah.
Welcome back. A family of 3 from Sabah, including a teenager, has been remanded for 6 days after a 14-year-old boy was accidentally shot dead with a homemade shotgun. The incident took place at around 8 a.m. on Sunday as the victim was playing with the teenage suspect at a house in Keningau. Keningau District Police Chief Yampil Garai said initial investigations found that the suspect, also aged 14, had seen the victim holding the makeshift firearm outside the house and asked for it in jest. As they were playing hide-and-seek, the suspect is believed to have accidentally pulled the trigger and fired towards the victim. The suspect panicked and sought help from nearby villagers. The victim was rushed to Keningau Hospital but was pronounced dead by medical personnel. Doctors found 14 gunshot wounds on the victim's right chest, right arm, knee and left side of the torso. Investigations also revealed that the suspect's 13-year-old brother had hidden the shotgun, which belonged to their 70-year-old father. All 3 family members have been detained for further investigation. Police also seized the homemade shotgun, its barrel and live ammunition. The victim's body was sent to Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Kota Kinabalu for post-mortem. In Kedah, 2 teenage boys pleaded guilty at the Sungai Petani Magistrates Court to causing hurt to a student last month. Both accused aged 16 and 17 entered their plea after the charge framed under the Penal Code was read to them before Magistrate Muhammed Azlan Basri. They were jointly charged with committing the offence on the 17-year-old victim at a school hostel in Sungai Petani on November 24th. The court allowed a bail of 1,000 ringgit with 1 surety each and fixed December 25th for case mention. On November 27th, a male student was reportedly found unconscious in a school hostel toilet after allegedly being assaulted by several schoolmates. The incident is said to have stemmed from allegations that the victim had spoken badly about a friend of one of the assailants. The assailants have since been expelled from school. Also in the same court, a man in his 30s was remanded for 7 days by Magistrate Muhammad Syaiful Akmal Muhammad Razi for allegedly brandishing a pistol at his neighbour in Bandar Laguna, Merbok. Kuala Muda Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Hanyan Ramlan said police received a distress call from an elderly woman at about 8:45 a.m. on Sunday, claiming that she had been threatened by a man wielding a pistol. Police then rushed to the scene and arrested the suspect, who later tested positive for ketamine. Based on initial investigations, the incident is believed to have stemmed from the suspect's dissatisfaction with his neighbour following a series of past disputes. The case is being investigated under the Firearms Act and the Dangerous Drugs Act. Hamas and Israel move towards phase 2 of peace plan. The details when Nightline returns.
Siapa yang betul-betul gegarkan social media anda? Jom kita cari di obrolan paling viral online.
Fan nombor 1, itu memang kamu. Jangan tunggu. Vote laju-laju. Undi calon top 10, 37. Kita bagi kecoh. Nombor 1, bintang paling popular. You are the one. Kita tentukan. ABPBH 37. Satu keunggulan. Memang tiada lawan. Joe. Undi straight sampai 9 Disember. Scan the QR. Cepat undi-undi. Benda free. Tak payah banyak bunyi. Tak cukup. Kita ganda lagi.
Kejadian tersebut berlaku waktu pagi, lebih kurang waktu subuh. Lokman ini dia telah pun menetap 3 mangsa, iaitu pakcik dan juga sepupunya.
Linda bertanya kenapa dia buat benda ni dan dia kata akibat dendam lama dia.
Seorang penganggur dihukum gantung sampai mati setelah disabitkan kesalahan membunuh 3 ahli keluarga angkatnya 3 tahun lalu.
Kiranya beliau gila ataupun tidak sioman, kenapa ada persediaan untuk melarikan diri.
Line up tiada lawan. Dari duo penyampai trofi yang sepadan habis. Hingga performance yang buat semua angkat tangan. 12 Disember, Jumaat, anugerah bintang popular berita harian ke-37. Follow rapat Kapet Merah di TikTok Embas Terhangat jam 8 malam dan kemuncak paling popular 9 malam. Eksklusif di TV3 dan stream juga melalui tonton ABPBH37, satu keunggulan.
Welcome back. Onto the foreign front. Officials in Indonesia's flood-hit areas reported shortages of food, shelter and medicine as the death toll reached 950 on Monday following weeks of heavy rain. The governor of Aceh said resources, especially medical staff, remain insufficient, noting that the province is facing a shortage of doctors. Hospitals, schools and offices lie in ruins and numerous destroyed bridges have cut off entire communities. Indonesia's National Disaster Mitigation Agency estimates that reconstruction costs could reach $3.1 billion. Over in Sri Lanka, the military deployed thousands of additional troops to support recovery efforts after a devastating cyclone left a trail of destruction and claimed 627 lives. As Israel and Hamas prepare to enter phase 2 of a US-led plan to end Israel's war on Gaza, disagreements persist over the undefined role of an international stabilization force in the besieged Palestinian territory. Senior Hamas official Bassem Naim on Sunday said the US draft requires clarifications and that while the group is open to freezing or storing weapons during the truce, it rejects an international stabilization force overseeing disarmament. It was not clear whether Naim's comments on the group freezing or storing arms would satisfy Israel's demands for full disarmament. His remarks followed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's announcement that he would meet Donald Trump later this month to discuss the next phase of the US plan, focusing on ending Hamas rule in Gaza and ensuring the enclave's demilitarization. Switching to sport, the 2025 Thailand SEA Games, the national men's badminton team edged closer to the first gold after reaching the final by defeating hosts Thailand in the semi-finals. The women's squad, however, fell short, losing narrowly to Indonesia to claim the country's first bronze medal. In the semi-final, the men's team overcame Thailand 3-1 despite Leong Junhao losing the first singles match to former world champion Kunlavut Vititsan, which gave the hosts an early 1-0 lead. However, Malaysia quickly bounced back, claiming the next 3 points consecutively. In the doubles matches, Aaron Chia and So Woo Yik, along with Man Wei Chong and T Kai Woon, secured victories to restore Malaysia's lead, with Justin Ho clinching the 3-1 win in the second singles match. Malaysia is scheduled to face Indonesia in the final after the Garuda squad defeated Singapore 3-1. Meanwhile, the women's team settled for the bronze medal after losing 2-3 to Indonesia. In the first singles match, Putri Kusumawardani cruised past Kay Lachana to give her team a 1-0 lead. World number 2 women's doubles pair Pearly Tan and Tina defeated Rachel Alicia Rose and Feby Setyaningram to level the tie at 1-1. In the second singles, Wong Ling Ching upset Gregoria Tunjung to give Malaysia a 2-1 lead, but the second doubles pair, Goh Pei Ki and To Iwei, lost to Febriana Dwi Puji Kusuma and Melissa Trias Puspitasari, levelling the score at 2-2. In the decider, third singles player Siti Zulaika Aziz put up a valiant effort, but was defeated by Mutiara Ayu Puspitasari. Earlier in other events, the national men's and women's teams excelled in the Hockey 5S tournament, topping their groups and advancing to the semi-finals. The men's team secured their third straight victory by defeating hosts Thailand 9-1, setting up a semi-final clash with the Philippines in their quest for a spot in the final. Similarly, the women's team recorded their third consecutive win with a 7-2 victory over Thailand, earning a semi-final meeting against Indonesia. Meanwhile, the national women's football team suffered their second straight defeat in Group B. Joel Corneli's side went down 0-3 to Myanmar, leaving them at the bottom of the group with no points and ending their hopes of advancing to the knockout stage. Malaysia will play their final group match against the Philippines on Thursday. That wraps up this edition of Nightline. We leave you with visuals of a sports carnival organised by Masjid Bandar Tun Husin On in Cheras. The two-week carnival saw more than 200 people participating in more than 9 events, including Biggest Loser Challenge, bowling and archery tournaments. The aim is to send a message to the public that mosque and surau are not just a place to pray, but can also be a platform to promote healthy lifestyle. With that, I'm Muhammed, Hamdan. Thanks for watching and take care.